Hi everybody, Captain L speaking with your training tips designed to help make you a better, more knowledgeable flight simmer, pilot, or aviation enthusiast. Have a seat, let's strap in and stow the HUD and see what is on the horizon for today. Today our briefing will cover, under the category of flight management system, we're looking at the FMS-CDU, we're performing navigation exercises, and this is part 2. In part 2, we're going to be looking at going present position direct to a waypoint, intercepting a leg to a waypoint, intercepting a leg from a waypoint, and then we'll look at creating waypoints using place bearing distance and place bearing. Some of the basic CDU exercises. Direct to a waypoint would be if we want to create a new active waypoint. For example, we're going from ABC to CDE. ABC is the active waypoint, but ATC clears us present position direct to CDE. That would be going direct to a waypoint. Intercepting a leg to a waypoint would be if we're going to ABC to CDE, and ABC is the active waypoint. And ATC says turn left to a heading of 330 and intercept the 190 degree radial of CDE and track it inbound. That would be an intercept leg 2 problem. We'll also look at how we can create a intercept leg from. If ATC said after ABC, track outbound on the 050 radial till further advised. We'll look at how we can set that up in the CDU to use LNAV. And then created waypoints would be a place bearing distance, where perhaps we're going to ABC to CDE. ABC is the active waypoint. And ATC says after ABC, proceed to the ABC 04040 DME fix. Well, we can create that point. Another type of created waypoint is place bearing. Perhaps ATC says you're cleared present position direct to the intersection of the FGH 070 radial and the XYZ 360 radial. Well, we can create a point that represents the crossing of those two radials, and that would be called a place bearing. So let's go into Virtual Simulator and do some CDU exercises. Okay, we're in the Virtual Simulator for part 2 of our CDU exercises. We're still at flight level 370 en route to Minneapolis-St. Paul. We've got another 982 miles to go. We're going to take a look at going direct to a waypoint, intercepting a leg to a waypoint, and then intercepting a leg from a waypoint. Our active waypoint right now is Echo Kilo Romeo, 254 miles ahead of us. And beyond that we have Ativ and then Swan or Saswan. We're going to first look at going direct to a waypoint again. We'll just review that. Let's bring up our stations here and see if there's anything out here. It looks like maybe we'll go to this Juliet November Charlie. Juliet November Charlie. So we'll go present position direct to that point. Make sure we're on page 1. Line selected to the top. When you do so, you'll have the white dashed line, which indicates a modified routing. You still have your magenta line, which is the current active routing. Modified legs page, erase prompt at 6 left, execute light, and these 3 things: a beam points, route copy, Intercept Course 2. The Intercept Course 2 is the course, the previous inbound course to between Now let's think about that for a second. Actually, because JNC is a new waypoint, it's not on our route. It's off our route. There was no previous inbound course into Juliet November Charlie. So really this should be not the number, but it should be boxes. And that's what it would be in the real simulator. This would be boxes. Because there was no previous inbound course into JNC, so that would be boxes. This course would be 059, which is the course from here to here. But this would be boxes, allowing you to put any course in there. But because there was no previous remembered course, it wouldn't have anything in here. It wouldn't be able to create this, it would just create boxes. So what the PMDG model is doing is it's giving you the inbound course currently direct. Technically, that should be boxes right now. So we're going to go ahead and execute that, and when you execute that, of course, it's going to go active. The erase prompt goes away, the execute light goes out, and these three things go away. Now the beam points, of course, is for if you were clear direct to, let's say we're clear direct Minneapolis, and they give us, something that's ahead 900 miles. But we have all these waypoints for our fuel plan and for our fuel score on our flight plan. We could hit a beam points, and then that would create all those points that were previously along our route would be transferred into the new direct routing. And so that way, when you're doing your flight plan and doing your fuel score, you have those beam points on the new route. A route copy would allow you to copy the old route into route 2, so that in case, let's say, they clear you direct Minneapolis and we put it in, we put a beam points, and they say, oh heck, we get to the next sector controller and he says, no, I can't give you direct Minneapolis. Go back to your original route. You're cleared direct to Echo Kilo Romeo flight plan route. Well, we could go to route 2 then, and it would be in route 2. So that's kind of why you copy a route sometimes, because if there's a previous, if you have to go back to the past route that you had, it's available. So these things are available prior to the modification. Let's go direct for now to JNC, so we can go ahead and execute that. And then after JNC, we'll go back to EKR, so we'll bring EKR to the scratch pad, line selected into the boxes, close the route discontinuity, and that creates a white dashed line between Juliet November Charlie and Echo Kilo Romeo, and then execute. And then of course we update our heading to course. Now let's say ATC gives us a heading. They say fly heading 090, vectors are on traffic. So we'll go to heading select. Airplane turns shortest direction, which is a right turn. And now ATC says on the heading of 090, intercept the 210 degree radial of Juliet November Charlie and track it inbound. Intercept the 210 degree radial of Juliet November Charlie and track it inbound. This would be an Intercept Course 2 problem. And so we do it just like we would with an active waypoint. What do we want to be the active waypoint? Juliet November Charlie. So we can bring that down to the scratch pad, bring it right back on top of itself, and that's going to create all this stuff again. And this is what you want. You want this Intercept Course area. Now it's the 210 radial, and radials are always from the VOR. This is a VOR. Radials are from, but this course is 2. So we have to take the reciprocal of 210, which is 030, and we would change this then to 030. That would represent the 210 degree radial. Line selected into the boxes, or into the, over the course that was there, 030. And notice it comes big font, big numbers. 030, 030, and that represents the 210 radial of Juliet November Charlie, or the 030 intercept course to that waypoint. So we take a look at that and say, how's that look? That looks good. And again, look at your map. Does it make sense? 210 radial, 030 inbound course to that waypoint. Yeah, it looks good. Execute. We would say LNAV is available. We'd arm LNAV. And again, you can see in this case we have quite a ways to go. We're 64.3 cross-track error, so it's going to be a little bit of time before we intercept that course to Juliet November Charlie. Let's go back to Juliet November Charlie, go back direct. And execute. LNAV captures right away. And we'll update our Hindenburg course. Now let's go direct to Echo Kilo Romeo. Direct Echo Kilo Romeo, the scratch pad to the top. Again, this course, the 044, is the course from here to here. The course from the tip of the triangle to Echo Kilo Romeo is 044. The Intercept Course 2, 023, is this course that's remembered from Juliet November Charlie into Echo Kilo Romeo. It's remembered as a convenience to us that if we want to use that, it's not active right now because it's small. If we want to use it, we make it big. Let's make it big. When you make it big, notice what it does. It goes along Echo Kilo Romeo through Juliet November Charlie, and it draws an extended line that goes out for 699 nautical miles. It's a line to infinity, we like to call it. It goes longer than your range. Your range goes up to 640 nautical miles, and this draws a 699 nautical mile line. So if we wanted to maintain, our present heading, let's say, to intercept the airway, this is a way we could do it. If we don't want that, well, we can erase that. And so if we just want to go direct to Echo Kilo Romeo, that's all we'd have to do. But if we wanted this course into Echo Kilo Romeo from JNC, we could line select that. Or if we want any other course, we can just type it in. If we wanted the 270 radial, let's say, or 090 radial, we put the 270 inbound course in. It's going to be over there. Or we want the about the 270 radial, or the 090 inbound course. There it is there. You can put in any course you want here, but it's always going to give you the previous inbound course into Echo Kilo Romeo from, in this case, from JNC. Okay, let's look at intercepting a course from a waypoint. We're currently inbound to Juliet November Charlie. And ATC says after Juliet November Charlie, track outbound on the 070 radial till further advised. One way we can do this is we can bring JNC the scratch pad. We can put in the 070 radial, and we can create a distance out there of, we maybe anticipate we're not going to be going for too long, so maybe we'll put 50 miles in there. We could put more if we wanted to. It's going to be less miles, it's going to be more accurate. So we could put a place-bearing distance after JNC. Now what that'll do is it creates a waypoint out here. And that would be the same as if you were going from tracking outbound, if we're going to use LNAV, tracking outbound on the 070 radial. We could have created this 50 miles out, 75 miles, 100 miles, just to create a point out there. In some of the advanced software, you can put JNC 070, and you could line select that on top of JNC, and then it would automatically then draw a 070 course out of GNC. A line just that goes out for infinity, basically, to track it that way too. I think on this it doesn't quite do the job. If I do it, it does it from my present position, which isn't really what I want. It would show 070 here, but I could leave it like this, and as I cross Juliet November Charlie, I could execute that, and then it would be lined up as I continue to fly. But I should be able to just put JNC 070 and line select it on top here, and it should then draw a line out of JNC and the 070, but it doesn't seem, if I put it here, it's invalid entry. I don't think this is correct. I think when you put this on top of JNC, it should draw the line out on the 070 from Juliet November Charlie. Now some of the older 400s can't do this, so then you have to put the 070, and you just have to put some mileage out there and create a place bearing distance, and just create it like that. And if you wanted to, you could, back it up if we did, let's say we executed that. And if we wanted to, then we'd go to the nav-rad page, and we could, JNC right now is being route tuned. If we want to auto-tune it, we could, or manually tune it, we could go to Juliet November Charlie, manually tune it, and then we could put the 070 course out there. And you can see you get the green dash line this way, green dash line that way. And then if we went to our VOR mode, plan mode, sorry. We go to VOR mode, once we cross over that, we could then, monitor the raw data here to fly it. We could still stay in LNAV, but we could also monitor raw data. It's interesting to note that, this is, if I go back to map, this green dash line is computer generated data. The JNC is computer generated data. But what you're looking at when you go to the VOR mode is raw data. The planet. VOR. That would be, this would be raw data, obviously. And your needles would be raw data. And you're looking at your map, and we have our displays up here, and we have our needles up here. This is raw data as well, but this is computer generated data right here. That's raw data. This is raw data. This is raw data. So we could back it up with a nav-rad page if we wanted to, but you would then have a course that goes out. You could stay in LNAV in this case, and then after it reaches Juliet November Charlie, it would turn outbound on the 070 radio. And at some point, ATC is going to give you a direct to somewhere. You don't get that often. It's not a clearance that you get a lot of track outbound on this or whatever, but you have a way of doing that using heading select and raw data, or using LNAV but creating a waypoint that's out there. A couple of different ways to do that. Place bearing distance. This is a place bearing distance, so we did cover that as well. In order to do a place bearing distance, you have to give it the place, which was Juliet November Charlie, the bearing, which is 070, and the distance. In this case, we chose 100 miles to put it out there. And you have to put it in that convention: place bearing / distance, and then line select it. Creates a 5-character identifier, JNC02. This is the second created waypoint in Route 1. If you were in Route 2, it would say JNC52. If you're not sure what that is, you can bring it right back down the scratch pad. It comes back down as a place, a bearing, intensive a degree, intensive a mile. Place, bearing, / and distance. Clear that out of there. Let's go back to EKR after JNC. So we'll clean this up a little bit. Let's go back to the nav-rad page, and we'll delete that, revert it back to auto-tuning. You'll notice JNC is being route tuned and manually tuned. If we delete it, it goes back to it's route tuning JNC in both these cases now. Right now the updating is being done by GPS, position updating. All 3 IRUs are being used for the FMC inertial position. You go to position page 2. These are the nav aids that are being picked up for DME updating. PVU and EKR are being used for DME. So if we did lose our GPS, then it would revert to DME tuning. And these are the nav aids that would be used in that case. So you'll notice these nav aids are not necessarily the same as these nav aids that are on the nav-rad page. Let's look at a place bearing. Let's get the stations. Well, let's leave the stations on there so we can see. Let's say you want to go present position direct to the intersection of the Mike Tango Uniform 090 radial and the Romeo Sierra Kilo 020 radial. So let's do that. Mike Tango Uniform, and we said the 090 radial. So it'd be a place bearing slash and a place bearing. So we'll do Romeo Sierra Kilo, and we want the let's see, let's put this is in maybe 020 radial. This would be the convention for a place bearing slash place bearing. And if we want to go to the intersection of the Mike Tango Uniform 090 radial and the Romeo Sierra Kilo 020 radial, and we want to go direct, we just put it to the top. It's asking us which MTU. It looks like one is north 40 and the other is north 1 degree, so we know it's the north 41 that we want. And you can see that this represents the crossing of those two radials. And then from there, maybe we want to go up here to, what's further up the line here? Otive. So maybe after that we want to go to Otive. Otive to there. Let's execute that. And let's see if that generates. We're still okay on the fuel. 26.7 at Minneapolis. That's a place bearing. Notice it is the third created waypoint in Route 1, so we get a MTU 03 5-character identifier. If you're not sure what that is, we can always bring it back down to the scratch pad, but it does come back down. Now this is not correct. This would actually come back down as a place bearing distance off of MTU. So you can see here it's coming down as a place, it's coming back as a place bearing. It actually wouldn't do that. Another anomaly. When you bring this back down, it should come back as a place bearing distance off of MTU. So it would say Mike Tango Uniform 090.0 slash, and then it would have the distance from MTU, which is where right here, to where it, to this point. So it might say 090 slash 163.5, you know, whatever the distance is from here to here to here. But it'll exactly have that distance in tenths of a degree, in tenths of a mile. So it might say again MTU 090.0 slash 173.9. So this is not correct. It doesn't come back down as a place bearing. We'll clear that out of the scratch pad. And so we covered direct to a waypoint, we covered intercept leg to a waypoint, intercept leg from a waypoint, place bearing distance, and place bearing. And these are some of the most common CDU exercises that are done. You can see that not all of them are used in ATC operations in typical line flight from day to day. You're not necessarily going to get clearances like turn left to a heading of 030 and intercept the 220 radial of such and track it inbound. You're more than likely to get that for training, but you're not usually going to get that on the line very often. You might get a report of beam such and such. You might get a clearance of cross 20 east of ABC at flight level 210. Those are common things. So these are some of the most common exercises that are done in training, and you should be able to be familiar with them as a flight simmer as well. So that completes our session on CDU Navigation Exercises Part 1 and Part 2. Okay, let's lower the HUD and go flying. Until our next briefing, keep the blue side up. Captain Al, out.